Welcome to the Get Offset podcast. My name is Andrew.
And I'm Emily.
Hey, I'm Grant from Big Ear Pedals.
And I'm Karen from Big Ear Pedals.
Yeah.
What?
Big Ear Pedals, Nashville, Tennessee.
That's where we are.
Yeah.
We still get the Big Ear NYC all the time. People email us almost every day asking if they can stop by. We're in Brooklyn. Can we come by and see some pedals?
No.
Sadly, we're not there. I mean, not that sadly. Nashville's awesome. But yeah, Brooklyn was cool too.
Yeah, they both have their positives and their negatives. Nashville still has a slightly better cost of living for the amount of space.
I just did the calculator, I Google, I don't know, it wasn't a wage calculator, but whatever it was, like from city to city.
Oh yeah.
What the dollar's worth from one to the other. And I think it's like a 60% better. It's like living here in Nashville.
Yeah. That I believe. That I believe.
Yeah, we can be fine without New York for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I just missed the pizza. I really missed the pizza. My goodness.
Yeah. I do too.
I've never been in New York. Always wanted to go just for the pizza and the bagels. But anyways, what I was going to say is it's great to have you guys on the show. I have to admit, though, I'm a little intimidated because I don't talk about this often, but I happen to have really small ears. And
oh, man. So you're saying I should really be loud when I greet you, for example, hello there.
I don't think that is necessarily what it is.
General Kenobi.
Ah, gosh.
Hello there.
2 episodes in a row, Andrew.
I've been looking at a lot of prequel memes lately, and they're just so good.
Yeah.
I figured I'd give you that one.
I appreciate it. I needed that bump.
Yeah, because you were disappointed in their website.
Disappointed is a strong word. You're making me sound like my father.
No, that's Mr. Renard.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm sorry. Lord. Indeed.
No, I'm just thinking about how disappointed my dad is in me.
Oh. Are we just going to start talking about how disappointed our parents are in us and just cry a little?
Yeah.
Cry a lot.
This will be like the 3rd time I've had to play the role of therapist today.
Oh, gosh. I don't have the energy to play that role for people who aren't my husband, and sometimes even then.
I hope you got paid for it, because that's a very, very hard job.
Oh.
Generally, when I'm playing the role of therapist, it's really just myself and my inner dialogue. Apparently, people are just now realizing that not everybody has an inner dialogue.
I had no idea. I don't know what happens in your brain. Like, I'm just curious about what's going through your brain if you don't have an inner monologue.
I just don't know what you do for a living. You might actually be a therapist. That's why I was.
Oh, nice. That's true. Andrew's a little bit more secretive about what he does for a living.
My background is in audio video. Right now I work in corporate audio video and IT support for one of the tech companies in the Seattle area.
Ah, very cool.
Nice.
Which is kind of like being a therapist just for computers, which somehow seems a little less stressful.
Oh, but also kind of troubling and worrisome.
By the way, so you're good with computers?
Ish.
Because last week you said you went to our website and you said it just said hello. That is not true, by the way.
So you should go.
In case you were to check it out, you would see that it doesn't say hello. I don't know what you were talking about.
You should go there now.
Big Ear, New York City.
No.
Enter.
Oh, it said hello there.
No.
It says hello there.
Oh,
I love
see,
it.
Andrew, you are an influencer.
Hashtag influencer life. Hashtag
Nice.
kale.
Oh, that's so cute. Y'all are the best. Dang.
Oh, hugs, air hugs.
My heart is so full.
I tell everybody that you all are the best because I remember that time I spent a whole ass morning at your all's house. You didn't kick me out.
No, it was fun.
No way. No.
It was fun.
That
And
was
the
very
hot
good.
chicken, it was
I was
good.
I was a little on the hungover side. I think
Yeah.
I came out about that toward the end of the time there because I kept going to the bathroom, and you're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I'm hungover." Yeah,
It happens.
yeah.
It definitely happens.
You came to Nashville.
Yeah, exactly.
I came to Nashville. I was in the party house. I just saw my favorite band. Spent too much time with old friends. It happens.
This is
happen.
Absolutely a drinking town.
Yeah.
Like more than New York, more than anything.
Totally.
And since I don't drink, it's particularly weird for me.
The fact that you can have an open container in the car just as long as it's in out of reach of the driver is crazy to me.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
I lived there for
that's
years.
how they have those drinking trolleys.
Oh,
they ride around on the bicycles and the drinking.
Yeah, the pedal taverns.
Yes, those things.
Not to say that like I don't know how to drink responsibly, but even I wouldn't like mix bicycles and drinking. That just seems like that wouldn't end well ever.
You get so hammered so fast.
Yeah.
I haven't done one of those things, but I don't think they're actually. I mean, I think there's like a sober individual that's steering it, and then everyone else is kind of just like, pretending or just having a good time. I don't think they're actually powering it.
Yeah. There's probably a motor, and then
I hope they're not powering it.
I think there's an emergency motor, but I think they are powering it because I feel like they've been stranded before.
Oh, really? Oh my goodness. Well, that's what I was thinking, because by the second hour, everybody's like, all right, this thing is taking like 5 minutes to go a block.
It's like those tan bikes where it's like the person in the back can just like give up.
So like, does that make them the designated biker?
What do you do if you have to go to the bathroom?
Oh,
it's a serious problem.
That sounds like it suddenly becomes a hydroelectric powered bike.
Oh man,
the future of yellow energy.
My goodness. My goodness. So Andrew, what's new with you?
I only say my goodness because it hits too close to home. I've had too many. I'm not going to get into
it. We just are like anticipating. Oh, this is going to be a story. That reminds me of. I honestly don't remember if I talked about this on the podcast last week, but last week we were playing a show down in Olympia, and our show was at a restaurant, and there's a venue in the back. It was fine, but we finish up dinner, and there's not really any setting up to do. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to like walk around a little bit. And I just go across the street to a bar that's you can't tell from the outside, but inside there was like a big shrine to Satan in it. I'm just like, all right. And I just had my $4 gin and tonic, cash only, not sketchy at all. And there's a guy down the bar, and he's like complaining about like he's like, my wife thinks just because I won a $10 million settlement that I'm going to pay for all her stuff. And then he said, the guy's like, oh, I don't remember how it came up. The guy was just a talker. And he's like, man, just because I got struck by lightning. That's for me. And I kind of wait for him to finish talking to the bartender. I lean over. I'm like, if this is something you'd like to talk about more, I'd love to hear more about this whole struck. No, it's not struck by lightning. He got hit by a power cable from a power line. He got hit by a power line.
No.
Yeah. And so he was able to sue the city because he only got electrocuted. And I can say electrocuted because he did die, is my understanding of the definition of electrocuted. And because there's little black boxes, and when something like a tree, which was the case here, collides with it, it's supposed to cut the power, and it didn't. And that's why he got 16,000 volts of electricity. The previous record for somebody getting shocked and surviving was 13,000.
Wow.
Yes. So
he.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
So he was revived, and then you were hanging with him in a bar.
Yeah, and he like showed me the scars and stuff. He's like, my chest cavity completely blew out. I'm like, what? Say what?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's like a bag of popcorn.
He was drinking too? He was drinking as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
I figure after that you just be like,
he's like, screw, I'm
all the
invincible.
Yeah, he was talking. He's like, man, I've been stabbed, shot, hit by a car. He's like, my friends don't believe me when I tell them I'm invincible or unkillable. I'm like, I think I might.
Wow.
It's like at that point you ask him.
You're a superhero.
It's like, so what's the secret to your invincibility? He's like, hang on a second, let me order another drink. A bartender, I'll take a goat blood martini, shaken not stirred.
That's right. It was
oh
a
my goodness,
Satanic
he was
bar.
in the Satanist bar though. I forgot that's a very important part of this.
Maybe he's actually dead, and he's just somehow like demonically like possessed.
It's like the spawn of Satan is sitting across from me.
He tried to buy my drinks. I didn't let him, so I'm like, no.
I wouldn't either. I don't know about.
I will not drink your drinks.
It's like in The Shining. Like, just put it on my tab. Whatever. Your money's no good here. Your credit is fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never seen this show.
Ooh, have you ever seen an episode of Rocko's Modern Life where Heifer is the security guard?
I don't recall.
I don't either.
Okay.
Oh, it's terrible. I know. We're really bad at TV.
Neither of you have seen The Shining? Okay.
I've seen The Shining.
Oh, I haven't. No.
Okay.
But
yeah, it's just the spooky bartender.
Yes.
Your credit is fine, sir.
Yes. I remember that part.
Yes.
I also remember being very disturbed by the hallways, and then thinking when I was in a hotel, that it's like it's shining in the hallways, and then I freaked myself out and then decided I shouldn't watch any more scary movies.
This is literally why I don't watch any movies at all, because the few movies that I've seen have terrified me. I won't get on an airplane.
Oh yeah, I'll watch Law and Order, and Grant's like, I can't.
Even the music just from the other room like messes with me.
It's like that ding ding.
Yeah. Dun, dun.
Yeah, he doesn't like
it. It's very aggressive. I get it.
Yeah. Ominous.
I watch a Pauly Shore movie though. That's not. That doesn't really like threaten my.
What's the one about the living in the biodome? Is that the movie?
Biodome? Yeah.
Yeah. Or what's the one where he pretends to be the fiance?
I'm sorry, what?
what's the one where he pretends to be the fiance?
Oh,
son-in-law.
Son-in-law.
Oh my goodness! You mean the best movie ever made?
That's a classic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Princess Bride has got to be the best movie ever made. I'm just saying.
I have never seen that.
That is a really good movie.
But Pauly Shore's not.
But I've also never seen Princess Bride, which I believe is what you love that movie.
Yeah, AWOL Petals was over, and we were actually talking about that. And frequently, Grant and I will talk about things that AWOL doesn't really know. He's in his 20s. We're in our 30s, so it's kind of like a small age difference. But
yeah, people in their 20s are like so.
Just movies and music, certain things that weren't big smash hits he doesn't necessarily know about.
Yeah, like entertainment genres and things like that tend to be he goes, oh, is that from the 90s? And usually we say yes. But he was talking about The Princess Bride, and I was like, oh yeah, it's so amazing. And Grant's like, I've never seen it. So there we are.
It was on TV a lot, so I get somebody being in their 20s seeing it.
Yeah, and plus it's really good. It's a good movie.
It's really good, and everyone loves that Inigo Montoya stuff.
Totally.
Hey, all you gotta say is Mandy Patinkin, and I'm sold.
Yeah.
I'm just so lost.
He has a lovely singing voice, Mandy Patinkin.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Beautiful singing. Hello. Yeah. All right. So, what is new with you, Andrew?
I do know that reference, by the way. I know that reference.
Oh, good.
That guy, but I didn't realize that was from that movie.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
That movie is just.
Yeah, I think he's seen the clip.
It's so quotable.
It really is.
I'm a little rusty on it, but it's always been if I've got a sick day, that's one of the movies I watch while I'm at home sick, just like snotting my brains out. And at one point in time, I was able to like follow the movie and say every single line as I'm watching it without missing a beat. And I could.
Oh, that's me with Blues Brothers.
I could probably get about 80% of the lines right now if I were to sit down and watch it. I've watched it at least 100 times. It's almost unhealthy.
That's so funny.
Speaking of sick days, I did have a sick day this week. Pretty much just slept the entire day. It was pretty great. Woke up and my house still wasn't fixed. But I am happy to say that at this point in the week, our house is mostly fixed. I am able to actually use my kitchen. I'm able to use my bathrooms. And it feels good that I'm actually sitting down at my desk for the first time in a couple of weeks, or like think just about since I left for NAM, and I'm realizing,
Oh my goodness.
oh, it's so good to sit down at my desk. Oh, I've got a lot to. Oh no, I've got so much to catch up on. Oh my goodness. Oh no. So blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it happens.
It does. That's true.
And in this case, it's a literal case of shit happens. Because I had
we
had that happen to us. Yeah. We had a gigantic
everything that could have gone wrong went
everything wrong. When we moved in, it was horrible
in like 3 days.
Oh my god.
And that was like around summer NAM, wasn't it?
Right.
It was right before it. It was like the perfect timing.
I was losing my mind. It was horrible, but we made it happen.
Yeah, it's good.
You did, and now it's behind you, and you have a fantastic story.
Yeah, and honestly, this house is really good. Now that everything has, the electricity, the whole place is rewired, so that's good.
That is good. That's important.
HVAC system, that's good. So it's kind of like the perfect setup. I guess
got all these new things. Yeah, you just had to go through a lot of.
Just to have them all go, oh yeah, and quite literal as well, because when they put in the new water heater, they for some reason connected the downspout from upstairs. Like every time we would flush the toilet or run the water, it would go right down into the drain pan of our water heater in the basement.
Oh no.
So gross.
The drain pan was supposed to go to the outside, but for some reason they ran. I don't know how that even happened.
And we had the guys in the hazmat suits and everything. They come spray and like antimicrobial stuff, and
you have dryers in the house for.
We had to do
days.
it twice because they messed it up.
Yep, I had guys at my house this week in hazmat suits as well. It's an experience.
It's fun, right? Yeah, you're like. Okay.
I saw. Maybe it was a year or two ago. I saw a guy in like the Gear Talk forum on Facebook that had a backup in his basement, and he was just he said like, this stuff is all garbage, I'm throwing this all away. And there was a Les Paul, and there was like a Marshall amp, like actual real gear, and like everybody was like man, are you serious? Like, what's your address? I'll take your shitty amp, I don't care.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like he was throwing away like drum kits and just tons of stuff in his driveway. It was all being taken away by like the hazmat people. And he was taking a picture of it, putting it on. I was like, oh my goodness.
Don't you know that's how you?
It didn't even look that bad, but yeah. But how? So like, I mean, what piece of gear are you willing to take if you know that it has been covered in poo? There's definitely gear that I would take. I would be like, whatever, I can disinfect it.
Yeah,
I think for me, it would. The only thing, I think there's only one piece of gear I think I would take off of someone's hands if it was immersed in literal poop. I think it would have to be a Klon, but only if it was modified to have a boost inside of it.
I was just gonna say, yeah, okay. I was gonna say a poo Klon. Is a poo Klon worth it? Wait till you see the video on what the boost Klon. But that's all I'll say about that. There is no poo involved. But
no poo involved. No body.
It is going to make a lot of people mad at me.
I think it already has.
Yeah, but wait till the video. Wait, it's going to make a lot of people mad.
Nice.
I can't wait. That's such a big baller flex. I love it.
I'm for it.
I have a bunch of videos in the works right now, and I've just been really bad because I'm trying to learn how to make. I'm in the process of like. I've made a few already, but like, I'm not good with computers, to be totally honest with you.
You're not bad with computers.
I get frustrated and I'm not patient.
You do get frustrated.
And video editing is incredibly
not patient. That is for sure.
It's a pain in the ass. It takes so much time, especially if you don't have like a stupid fast computer.
Yeah. For what it's worth, as someone who's worked IT support for a while, the median or average user's capabilities is actually a lot lower than you would think of what qualifies as average. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like driving.
Oh my goodness, especially in Nashville.
Oh yeah.
The Nashville driving is definitely something.
I can just imagine it's gotten worse.
There's the on-ramp. Yeah, the on-ramp and the
are in the same spot. Yeah, they're in the same spot sometimes. Sometimes people are merging on like 50 feet before you're trying to merge out, and you're like, why? Whoever built this, I hope is in hell. Yeah.
Totally. There you are.
They are. They've
at that
hurt so many.
They spent too much time at that satanic bar.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's a totally like stereotypical thing to say, like, oh, the people in my city suck. They're the worst drivers. Like, but I was in, I toured for quite a long time. I've been in 43 states. I've never left the ground. I will not get in an airplane. So I've been in 43 states, like ground level. I've driven everywhere. I've been everywhere. And I can tell you that Nashville has the worst drivers. They are crazy here. It is out. Well, no. And okay, like people say like, oh, you lived in New York and, like
Boston has scary drivers, but they're good drivers.
But the people, they're good. The people that drive in the East Coast, drivers that are bad drivers are aware of the fact that they're driving the way they are. They're really fast. They're cutting in front of you, but they're like probably not going to wreck because they're totally paying attention. Which
sounds like
maybe.
LA to me.
They're hella aggressive.
But here people are just like completely unaware that they're even in a vehicle at all, and like taking the left turn with their right turn signal on, just stuff that's just completely like, what are you doing? You need to go back to.
Well, that's why you're going to start that punk band,
right? I plan to start a punk band.
Dude, please say more.
Single will be turn signals. Fucking use them. That part's in parentheses,
right?
I'm for it.
Can there be like a hardcore breakdown?
Use the correct one. Use the correct turn signal, I suppose I should say.
Can there be like no?
Can we talk about? Can you have a song about parallel parking within a foot of the curb?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a reference to? Did I do that? Did we when we went somewhere? Was I far away? Was that you?
No, I've never been. No. It's just like in Seattle. I think it's actually a law that
in New York it is. Recently, I went somewhere and Karen was like, "Why are you?" Because I kept trying to like inch closer, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I have to be within a foot because."
I'm like, dude, we're in Nashville.
Yeah, but yes, I don't know. They might take
it was like a foot and maybe a centimeter. It
was like the tightest little spot, so I didn't have a lot of room to get in. So I just
check your mirrors, get out of the car, bring your ruler with you, and you just line up with the curb.
Yeah, and Nashville nowadays is so packed. Sometimes you just have to. If you see a spot, you're going to take it because it's like there's a lot of people here now, a lot of cars.
If I fits, I better fits. I'm gonna fits. I'm gonna fits in this spot.
If it fits, it ships.
Regardless.
I remember
the problem with Nashville is that like there's no real alternatives to owning a car.
Yeah, it's definitely not a walking city.
Yeah.
It's not a walking city. It's not a busing city. It's not a biking city.
Very friendly for that. It's all driving.
It's not even an electric scooter city anymore.
City, interestingly enough.
Ooh, bummer.
Not good.
I remember when I was there, one of our local like representatives, like he got a ticket for being for drunk driving, and then he also had a gun in the car. And you're like,
maybe that's why they don't cut each other off over there.
Well, I've told this story before about how once I talked back to a guy who owned a bar, and then 2 weeks later he was arrested for killing a patron.
Oh.
Cool. Don't suppose we're still talking about the satanic bar, are we? Or
you should just stop going to bars.
I think that's the issue.
I just got it. I had a lot of fun at the satanic bar, y'all.
There's got to be, a certain amount of fun can be had at a coffee shop too. At least.
Mm-hmm. But coffee shops aren't always open at like 10 p.m.
True. They should be, though. I was actually just thinking that bars should have coffee more often.
Agreed.
What are the little things that they're like, and they have with the little bit like strawberry in the middle and like a Danish. Sometimes, those excite me.
Like a donut shop, yeah.
Oh yeah, beer and donuts.
I love a good 24-hour diner.
I feel like donuts and anything would just be delicious.
My friend was here last night. I'm just going to bring this up. I think this is like a life hack that I just learned last night. My friend was here and he just was craving donuts. And he's like, guys, I'm going to go get, he wanted donuts, but the only place that was open at night was the gas station. So he was still really excited about gas station donuts, but He called me. He left and then called me like 15 minutes later. He's like, just wanted to let you know, I went to the gas station. I got 4 donuts. I went to the front. The guy says, is this all you're getting? Just donuts? I said, yeah. He said, just take them. I'm about to throw them in the garbage.
Aw.
So if you go to
He got
you get to
garbage
go at
donuts.
11 p.m., you get your donuts for free, I think. That's the more.
Aw. Dang, that guy just did not want to go through the
That dude
trouble of
probably
bringing
already
him up.
counted his cash drawer. He was like, nah, it's not worth it.
Well, the funny thing is that I think they were open later. It's just it was like during his shift of switching the donuts out or something like that. Because I think he asked if they were old, and he's like, "Nah, I just have to switch
He was
them
about
out."
to throw them away, so yeah. We went way further on this than I thought.
We got to figure out which gas station he went to that has fresh donuts at like.
This is reminding me of like my constant search for free food when I was in college. Like I knew which restaurant. There's a restaurant on campus that threw away their churros at certain intervals throughout the day because they'd been sitting in the heater for too long. So if you showed up like on the button at 8:58 p.m. and just ask for a churro, they would give you like 3 for free.
Nice.
Anytime any of my friends were like, hey, we're going to Costco, you want to go with? And I would say yes. I didn't want to buy anything. I just wanted the food samples.
Yeah.
When you go to New York.
But your friends went to Costco in college?
I did go to a private school.
But still, like, where do you store the things you get at Costco?
The only thing I got from Costco in college was a 50-pound bag of rice.
I keep trying to get Rick to buy one of those. He's like, we don't know. I'm not getting that. I'm like,
it's good indefinitely. It's always there for you.
He has more oatmeal than will fit in the house, but he won't let me buy the big bag of rice to make my New York style chicken over rice.
And you get a really great bag out of the deal. I got to say, those big burlap sacks are great.
For what? All right, what was Grant saying?
No, I was going to say, if you ever go to New York, Andrew, when and if you get there, I've only ever had a churro from, there are at various train stations, there are people with carts that sell churros. And they're like train station churros. They're not like, it's not a restaurant. It's just like an individual that like baked them at home and brought them on a cart and sells churros to the train passengers. And I've never had any other churro, but I can't imagine they're actually better than these churros. These things are incredible. So I'm just going to say you should try one when you go to New York, and then let me know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I'm sold. 100% sold. Will have to happen.
They're good. They're
like
street food and Subway cart food
paper bag, and it's all greasy. Like, so good.
Greasy.
Damn. Oh,
I tend to get rather adventurous with my food choices, so that I think I can make that happen.
Street food is the best in New York.
Yeah, and there's a halal truck on. There's so many of them that are famous. There's ones up on like 57th and or whatever. But there's one guy who's on 14th between I think it's First and A, right?
I think. My goodness, it's been so long.
But he was always really, really nice to Grant, which was super awesome.
Oh, I would ride my bike. I would ride in from Brooklyn just to go to this one truck because when I used to work in the city, I would come down and get it and Karen and I would eat it all the time when we lived on Houston in the city, and then moved to Brooklyn, but would just still come back up. And this guy would always give me. I loved their potatoes because they put cinnamon in them, which sounds crazy.
Guess no, not crazy because Cincinnati puts cinnamon in their chili. It's very good with savory stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he would always give me extra potatoes because I love the cinnamon in them. So, yeah. Oh man, New York had good food.
Mm. I'm sure it still does. Yes, Nashville's got some all right food.
Well, but I'm a vegetarian. I mean, I eat fish, I guess. So I'm a pescatarian. But there's not a lot of good food for me.
I don't.
Not yet. There's like 5 places.
Do you go to the Wild Cow?
That's one of the 5. And then there's Gray's, which is really, really delicious. But there's not a lot. It's still very much, we are in Tennessee and people
they barbecue.
And they put it in everything. I got a Caesar salad from a restaurant and it had bacon in it. And they didn't say, yeah, I know. it didn't say anywhere that it was going to have bacon, and it wasn't called a bacon Caesar salad. It was just Caesar salad, but they just randomly throw bacon in there because, well, I'm like, well, I don't eat meat. And they're like, oh, bacon's meat.
Bacon's just meat candy.
Wow.
So
Tennessee representing well.
Yeah.
Well, nice. So let's talk about what's new with you all, or what's going to be new.
Yeah, I heard you guys have been shaking things up lately. If you can't tell, I've been sitting on that.
Did you plug it in yet?
I am gonna plug it in tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna have a day. I'm gonna plug it in.
Okay, you got to plug it in with a lot of pedals.
Oh no! Don't tell me. I know.
Like time-based stuff and pitch-based things are really fun.
Ooh, I gotta plug it in. I want to do it with the Ghost Fax, the phase computer from Dwarfcraft.
Yes, that will be awesome. I saw
because that's. Did you see the? I just was giggling the whole time I was filming that. Like, that sounds so amazing. The bleeps and the bloops.
I love that guy's pedal. Well, both of them. I guess I've never met his wife, but
yeah,
I can't think of her name.
Louise.
I know I follow her.
Louise.
Louise.
Louise and Ben.
But her name is not that on Instagram.
Oh, her handle.
Ains' wife or whatever. So I just
but, which is really funny, actually.
But man, I literally don't own a single one of their pedals, and they're so good every time I've played any one of them. Mm-hmm. And that one in particular, Micah from Eastside Music Supply, like I went in there one day, he was like, dude, you have to play this pedal. And we played it for like an hour. It's so fun.
I don't even know. I think that the manual setting might be my favorite. The one that it doesn't go like up and down, but you can like key in like the tones. I'm like, I don't know why I just love that so much.
It's radical. It's a radical pedal.
It really is. Have you played their Grazer?
I've played a lot of them. I the last time I saw them at NAMM, I just don't remember. Is that the one that has is it orange? What color is it?
It's orange. Yeah, it's got two rabbits on it actually.
Yeah. I've played that one. I've played that one. And the last time I saw they were set up at NAMM, and it made me really comfortable too, because I hate playing guitar in front of people, but they had a bass.
Oh,
and I just picked up the bass and just threw on some headphones, and that was also really nice. I like to do the headphone thing at NAMM. But
that makes sense because Louise is a bassist.
Yeah, and it was like a little Mustang bass, so it just was a really fun little thing to play, and all their pedals sound so good. So anyway, I'm
gushing, but yeah, the shake.
People. I think I'm sorry to interrupt, but people don't know that about me, that I like weird things, because all of our pedals that we make are like normal, kind of like basic, like solutions for someone that wants a solid tone for a boost or a drive or a fuzz or whatever. But like in my personal life, I particularly enjoy crazy sounding screwed ups. Like, I'm only saying screwed up because I can't say effed up.
I mean, you can. We've already said lots of swear words.
I did it by accident. Well, I'm trying to be as clean as I can, but it's so hard.
I'm already inserting meows, so
yeah.
You should go back and listen to our episode with Louise, because I think I might have forgotten to tell her. But that was before we were using meows, I think. So it was just like a lot of bleeps.
Well, there's something about pedal people and their foul mouths.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so the shake, yes. So it's an electric shaker. And you have a pink one.
I do.
And you have the only light pink one in existence ever.
Yeah. I love being special.
But so for those wondering what an electric shaker is, think like an egg shaker, like a maraca, whatever, but like it is you can plug it into guitar pedals. It's basically, the thing is, it's stupid because it looks like a guitar pedal. It's kind of like this kitschy, absurd thing that I thought like it would be funny if somebody like pulled a pedal off their board and like plugged it in and started shaking it, and you're hearing these like percussion sound. Like, what is that? And so there's knobs on it, and there's a foot switch, but they don't do anything. They're not plugged into anything. It actually just has a wooden box on the inside, and that wooden box has it is full of lead clippings from guitar pedals.
Oh, smart.
So we are, we're recycling and reusing, repurposing our what would otherwise be garbage. And the thing about that is there's also like pot tabs from, potentiometers and all the different bits and clippings. They're all, every single one is unique. I mean, I do put a specific weight amount in each wooden box, and that's just because if it doesn't, I mean, to get into the boring part of it, it has to have enough weight in it that it never stops moving. Like it won't hit one side before, like there's still some scraping across the wood before it hits.
It won't deaden, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. It never just stops. It's not clunky that way. Yeah. It's not like kunk, kunk, kunk. It's like shh, 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 shh. Mm-hmm. So, but each one's unique. Each one is special. Like when you shake each one, they all sound totally different. And also because the wood that's used, it's like they're like maple veneers that were laser cut that Leon from Pelican Noiseworks cut for us. And then we snap them together, glue them together, and close them up with the parts in them, put a transducer, like a piezo pickup on it, and wire that to a jack, and that's it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I did open it up immediately. I'm like, what is making it? And it's just like, oh, wow, that's so smart.
Yeah. It is kind of interesting though, because it has that it is sort of interesting because it has that sort of delay when you're shaking it because it's in that little box inside a bigger box. So it's like you kind of have to get used to it. But it's like anything. It's fun.
Yeah. It's heavy. You're shaking a guitar pedal with a cable hanging out of it.
So I've been thinking about that pedal this week, and awesome. Two things. One, is it decidedly not a guitar pedal? Because if let's define guitar pedal here. I don't subscribe to a very strict definition of guitar pedal. I think this could qualify.
Well, you don't plug a guitar into it.
Well, yeah, we're calling it a pedal in quotes, but I wouldn't say it's a guitar pedal because it is. You can't use guitar with it in any way. The only way you could use it is if you played an acoustic guitar really close to the input hole, because the input jack, you can sing into it because since it's a transducer, you can. It's
a kazoo
microphone, so you can sing into it. So you could hypothetically play an acoustic guitar into it, but you can't plug an electric guitar into it.
Fair enough. And then
so it's not a guitar pedal.
Yeah, I was hoping for that to get way more absurd than it got, but I appreciate it.
I'm so sorry.
Other thought. So I was thinking, I was having a flashback to childhood. I started as a drummer when I was in middle school, and I was always terrible about practicing with my metronome. So I remember I would go to play for church, and the worship director would have a tambourine on the ground that he would kick in on the backbeat to help keep me on time. And I'm wondering, like, how much sound would you generate if you just put that on your board and treated it like a tap tempo? But like in the same manner of just like kicking it to keep your drummer in beat.
Are you saying unplugged?
No, not unplugged. Like plug it in through your chain.
But you can't plug a guitar into it, Andrew.
But you could have.
You'd have to have two inputs. Like
but you could take like a stereo pedal and do one input for your guitar and the other one be for the shaker.
Right.
Yeah, you could. That said, that it's always going to be on. It's a microphone that's always on.
Yeah. Oh, so I'm just trying to get weird and funky with this, and I'm trying.
If you accidentally kick it, it will make a sound. It's
spring reverb,
like the spring reverb. Yeah, like
a reverb tank,
which is fun too. I mean, that's exciting.
I think there's a lot of possibilities with that little shake, and I kind of want one.
I want. They're for sale.
The guy, Everlast. I remember. Like a guitar magazine from when I was a kid, or I don't know, I was a teenager, and he had a Fender spring reverb unit that was on the stage near his mic so he could kick it. Like just because for certain parts of the set, he wanted to have like a...
That's kind of cool.
Amazing.
Oh.
That as an effect, he just would kick this spring reverb.
Yeah, that's neat.
So.
Yeah.
It also kind of reminds me of I was seeing a band play once, and they had like a really stripped down drum set. It was basically a snare, a ride cymbal, and they had this like little wooden box on the ground. They would kick, and I would hear a bass drum. I'm like, oh, is that like a trigger? And talking to them after the show, and they're like, no, it's not a trigger. It's just an SM57 mic capsule that we put inside this box, and we just have an XLR into the side of it, run it to house with a low pass filter at like 200 hertz. And that's just their bass drum.
Yeah, I played a show with a guy who did that, but it was like he had it right in front of his feet, and he would just like click it with the heel of his boot or whatever.
I just was searching on YouTube the other day to see if there had been an electric shaker before, and I found a company that made an egg shaker that you could plug in, and it straps to your foot.
Huh. So you could like shimmy your foot around,
just so you could have like an extra like a snare, like on a 2 and 4 kind of situation if you're a singer songwriter. So the idea did exist, but it wasn't, at least the way we imagined it, to be a crazy weird noise instrument. But anyway, that might actually be useful for what you were talking about. If you need that extra something to just like run into the monitor for your drummer.
Just gonna strap it to my foot. I think that's a way better accessory than the J Mascis Wah Converse.
Oh yeah. I didn't know that was
wasn't that J Mascis?
Had anything to do with J Mascis. I don't know. I had seen, maybe he played. Was there a video of him?
I feel like it was now I got to look this up.
I remember seeing it a few years ago when they built a wah pedal into a Chuck Taylor.
That's right. Oh, who was that?
I don't remember J Mascis.
Converse released a sneaker with built-in wah-wah foot pedal. And it is J Mascis in the video. Yeah, look at that.
Huh.
Cool. Yeah.
Is it actually something that was actually for sale?
I think.
Do those exist? Can I find one on Reverb?
You know, that's a great question.
I think it did. I think it was released. I'm not sure it really went anywhere, but
yeah, who actually?
Elon Musk, I'm sure.
Josh Scott bought
I don't think
that would not surprise me.
There's no way this was real. This had been a joke.
Yeah, of course. It is a pedal. He does need to have a bunch
of them.
All right, there's no listings on Reverb.com. I just Googled Converse Wah and clicked on the shopping button, and I'm not seeing anything.
Maybe so if they did sell them, but they didn't actually sell it. Is that possible?
Oh, a lot of people do that.
Like them.
The power supply company. There's a power supply company that I don't even know how to say their name. So, but they teased a power supply with 25 outputs a couple years ago at NAMM, and then they never made it.
Oh, wasn't it called like the Overkill or something?
It was called the Overkill, yeah. And I thought that's ridiculous, but I would legitimately buy that. And then they never made it. So that happens a lot. People show things and tease things, and then they don't come out. We've done that with a pedal that never came out. So,
which pedal?
Well, actually, a couple, but there's 2 pedals called Black Betty and Betty White, and they are both fuzz pedals, and they're both identical pedals. There's absolutely no difference. The only difference is one is in an all white enclosure with white print, and the other is an all black enclosure with black print. But they are exactly the same. So it just depends. Some people have a lot of black pedals already on their board, and they just want a white pedal.
Oh yeah,
it's like that.
Some people,
iPhone.
Yeah, it's kind of exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Bettys, but they never came out, but they will. But we've been showing them for years.
That's true.
And there's a lot of them out there on like pro boards that are touring right now, but it's just, you can't get it. It's just not available.
So according to the article, I just did a little bit of quick digging. According to this article, in February and March of 2016, 13 guitarists were selected to take the all-wah chucks on stage, which I imagine means that there's 13 of them. Maybe they just let the artists keep them. So there's like a handful of really lucky guitar players that means this is going to be super collectible someday.
Yeah. Well, it's 4 years later and nobody's talking about it, so I don't know how collectible they are.
I don't know. If there's only 13 of them.
Yeah, but just like scarcity doesn't make something valuable.
Yeah.
That's true.
Scarcity in comparison with demand is what makes something valuable. Like,
I have a
like you look at. I mean, there's just like so many pedals that you like. The Moon Canyon, they didn't make a ton of those, and there's only one on Reverb, and they just dropped the price by like $100. So, I mean, I think everyone who won one got one.
I got a pedal called the Sonic Panda, which is just like a fuzz pedal, kind of like tone bender-y kind of thing. And it was made by a guy named Coley Brown in the like early 2000s, like forums, that kind of back in the day selling pedals. And I got it on Craigslist because I was selling this big loud amp in New York City that I couldn't keep in our apartment. This guy just brought a bunch of pedals, and he kept trying to tell me this pedal's worth so much because you can't find them and they don't exist, and it's a horrible sounding pedal. And and literally, I had to like kind of school the guys. Like I feel so bad, but like it literally isn't worth anything. The guy didn't ever fulfill orders for a lot of people, and so he like ruined his name and then just disappeared. And that's the reason there aren't that many. It's not because it's rare. It's because the guy ripped a bunch of people off, and now his pedal's worth garbage. But I was like, it's worth like, I don't know, $50 in parts. And so I ended up getting the pedal, and so it's on my shelf. But to your point, scarcity doesn't really mean equal value in most cases.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm just unnecessarily excited.
And you're allowed to be excited. Your excitement can be wrong.
Yeah. What if it turns into like a cult thing now? After this podcast,
if it turns into a cult thing,
everybody goes to look for it, and then Google's like, "Oh yeah, everybody's looking for this one."
It would take like Jack White or somebody to come out and use them in some like Grammy performance or something, where then everybody sees it in the whole world, and then they're like, "Whoa!" And there's 12 other pairs of them, and now it's $7,000 online.
Yeah, because apparently Damascus isn't even famous enough to make a dent.
I think was it last year? Her did the acrylic Strat, and this year was the cool piano. Next year it should be the wah shoe.
Yes.
Yeah, talk to her about that.
Yeah, I'll just shoot her a text.
Be fun.
I think that she's gettable. I think I could do it. I'm sorry.
You heard it here first, folks.
Won a bunch of Grammys. I think I can make that happen.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I don't.
Her at gmail.com.
Yeah, that's gotta be correct.
Her music.
Well, I wanted to try to get some bigger gets this year. She ripped on the Grammys. I was really glad I got to watch that.
We watched it for a good while.
Yeah, it was a good show. Alicia Keys made me cry like multiple times.
She's a great host for sure.
She is. Yeah. I bet she's like really nice.
I had to go somewhere. I forget. I had to go to the post office, right?
I think so.
So I missed it. We have a post office in Nashville that's open till 9 p.m.
It's fabulous.
Wow. Gosh.
That would be good. Where. Oh, that sounds wonderful.
It saves us
I want that.
On Saturday, they're open till 8, and on Sunday, they're open till I think 5 or 6. Like, what?
They're open on Sunday at all?
Wow. What is that?
Yeah. And they're nice. They're
just really nice people. and it's
that's even shocking too.
It's also right beside the airport, so it's like the moment you drop it off, it's like getting put on a truck to be put on a plane, and it's getting to where you send it. So usually if I send something that's like 3 days, it gets there in 2.
Yeah, that's nice.
But yeah, they're absurdly like polite people. I mean, I know that's like a thing that everyone's like, oh, they're so nice. But like, I will come in there 5 minutes before close with like 42 packages, and like with smiles on their face. Hey, how are you tonight? Really like never ever say a word to me.
And that one guy drives all the way from Murfreesboro.
Whoa, what?
So
that's 45 minutes at least.
Yeah,
without traffic.
So me keeping him like an extra 3 minutes late is like a pain in the butt. Could be, but he's never ever said a word. They're like the sweetest people.
Oh,
I don't do that regularly, but when I do, I'm just saying. Like I've had other post offices not be as nice.
Are there headshots in your post office? Because I used to live in Hillsborough Village, and that post office had so many autographed headshots in it. It was the funniest thing in the world to me.
Oh, I don't know.
I was just like,
no, and
yeah, all the walls in the Hillsborough Village one, just country music star after country music wannabe after country music star.
I've never seen that, but real quick, I just want to clarify: they should not be nice to me when I walk in with 42 packages 5 minutes before. It is my fault. I just wanted to. I'm not like being entitled. That is wrong to do, but like sometimes it's just how it goes sometimes. Yeah, and it's always nice when people are very understanding.
I'm sure as long as you're not like
the Royal Parkway
every day, like, oh my God, buddy.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to the Royal Parkway USPS.
Yay. Official commendations, please. Yes. Nice. So that's not the shake's not the only new thing. You also have a pedal that you have amazingly named after your cat, and I would love to talk about that.
Oh yes, ALBIE.
ALBIE, named after Cat Albert.
Cat Albert. Also named Bert and Bobo. And all kinds of weird little names.
I think that's what happens with most animals. I think if you have a pet, you probably have 17 names for them.
Yeah.
Or they have like 46 middle names. Mm-hmm. So the ALBIE pedal is it is our first, I guess. Well, we have a reverb pedal that's digital, but this is a different thing. This is like a FV1 based pedal. It's like a multi effect sort of, but it's actually really a multi effect, if that makes sense. Because it is not single effects. It actually has stacks of effects or chains of effects. So it is a pedal that is made up of many other pedals in chains that you can blend into your clean tone. The pedals that are in the chains are set. You can't control anything, which I know sounds crazy, but I promise you the settings sound really good.
Just control the blend. Is that the only thing control?
You can just blend it in. Now, when you do blend it in, there are all kinds of sweet spots within the different settings that you'll find. It's just like a totally like linear, like you get more, because with some of the sounds, like let's say there's a phaser in one of the sounds, you kind of hear it has a different presence when you have the blend all the way up as to when you have the blend all the way down, because when you have the blend, or like even halfway, because when it's halfway, now you hear the phasing against the clean tone. And so it changes kind of the relationship of what's happening. As opposed to when it's just fully wet. Now it doesn't go 100% wet. This pedal is emulating the sounds of the good 80s, new wave, post-punk, jangle pop, that kind of sparkly kind of Fender guitars and
JC 120s.
Yeah, that kind of sound. You know what I mean? Chorus and reverb and some flanger. Some of the players use flanger, or dual phaser is one of the settings in the pedal. Dual phaser with reverb and delay. And so, like I said, there's stacks of effects, they're chains of effects, and you blend them in, and they sound like the sounds that you would expect them to sound like. And then there's some other tricks hidden in there too, with some switching things we did. But we'll leave that for like whenever it's finally released. Not finally, soon.
Yeah, isn't it supposed to be
exciting? It's happening really soon. Yeah.
There's just like ever so slight tweaks. We're working with Neil Graham from Dr. Scientist, and he's in Canada, so we're not able to just sit with each other, so that's the only reason it takes a little bit longer back and forth, literally mailing things. But it's like, I'm going to say 99%. There's one tiny little tweak to be made, and then it's done, and then and you'll be hearing all kinds of noise.
Nice.
That's very exciting.
That's so cool. I can't wait to. I just played it a little bit when I was at your place over the summer, and it was just fun.
It makes it easy to, you just plug it in and start playing guitar. You don't have to. It's for people with, not entirely for this sector, but there are people that have option paralysis, and this is definitely for them. Also for people with small boards that want, that would like a lot of ambient and like modulated sounds all within one little unit, or players that have giant boards that want some different sounds that they wouldn't be able to access without having like a programmable looper where they can, because some of the sounds have modulation after the ambient effects, some of them have it before. And so you'd either need to rewire your board to do some of those things, or you'd need, like I said, a programmable switcher. So it serves a lot of purposes for a lot of people, but you can just plug in and play and it's fun. And that's the
nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Cool.
The moment.
I'm just absolutely mesmerized. I'm just listening to you talk and I'm just soaking it all in. That description just sounds mouthwatering.
It's a really
amazing.
cool pedal, and I can't wait to give it a go, I guess.
I am like so excited to hear what music turns into after this happens. Because I feel like people are gonna use it to make really cool things, and I'm excited to hear that. So
I'm looking forward to. I think I'm gonna end up putting it on my Sunday Crush board because it seems like a perfect fit for that band in particular. Like in summer, I'm like, ooh, cool. Crushers are gonna love this.
Nice
Crushers.
Is that what you call your
actually
fans?
It is.
That's pretty rad.
We have a few fans out there. Jeff Covey, one of them. Nice. Yes. Jeff Covey also supports us on our Patreon. If you want to be half as cool as Jeff Covey even, you can go over to patreon.com/getoffset. And we have several tiers. You can as little as $1 and as much as you want to give. For $25, I'll write you a song. Nobody has taken me up on that yet. Yeah.
Plenty of tiers.
For Fears. Ooh, that would be good.
Also, speaking of mashups, if your fans are called Crushers, you could do like a parody fan art T-shirt for Fruit Crushers.
What's a Fruit Crusher?
Instead of Fruit Gushers.
Yeah, of course, the Gushers.
You guys remember those?
I do remember.
So you're saying like have like a gusher on it, and then it'd be a crusher.
Yeah, like steal the art off, like not steal, but like parody the art on the box.
I don't know what the art on a gusher box looks like. I'm gonna have to Google that. Okay, that's a thing.
I just pulled out the camera to film a story to throw up that we're doing this thing right now.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
And Karen thought I was taking a picture, so she just kind of froze and was making a cute face, but it's a video.
I know. I see that. I see the. Yeah, it's moving.
Nice. Well, thanks again so much for jumping on this episode with us, kind of last minute. Really appreciate that. I'm glad we finally got this to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us.
I am too.
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Glad you emailed.
Me
Thank
too.
Reached out.
Yes. Instagrammed or whatever.
And I will definitely let you know.
It was.
And you will know. You'll be one of the first people to know when the ALBIE is ready.
Yay!
So I will holler at you as soon as that is done. And I hope it's in the next week. We'll see what happens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's like 99%. We just sent an email to Neil the other day and said, and everything that needs tweaked, it's all in the coding now. So it's like,
take it back. I'm afraid.
Yeah, knock on wood. I'm just saying. I hope it's soon.
Yes, I'm sure it will be. Awesome.
Very good.
Cue heavy breathing.
Well, for everyone listening, be sure to check out Grant and Karen's work. Is it just bigear.com? What is it?
Big Ear Pedals.
BigEarPedals.com. Link to that in the show notes. If you like this podcast, please consider giving us a 5-star review on iTunes. It really helps us in the whole algorithm stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We just hit 530 subscribers there.
Nice.
Woo!
That's awesome.
Progress.
When did you start that?
I really only started in September.
Yeah,
you've been growing. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's way exceeded my expectations.
That's because you're awesome.
Oh, thank you.
It's all good. Yeah. You guys are great.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to us that you listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
So that's been Grant and Karen from Big Ear. I've been Emily.
I am Andrew.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for understanding. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.